take a look at some of the highlights from the September 2020 US coin signature auction hosted by Heritage, which raised almost $12.5 million total. In 1792, a group of French and Swiss investors purchased a large plot of land in modern-day upstate New York. The intention was to create a French colony for wealthy and upper-class families seeking sanctuary from the upheaval and persecution of the French Revolution. The scheme ultimately ended in ruin and was dissolved by 1814, but not before producing a series of medals in 1796. Struck at the Paris Mint, there were gold, copper, and silver variants known to exist, including a number of restrikes such as the example seen here, graded by PCGS as MS64. The medal sold at auction for $10,800. So here's something very unusual. A matte-proof 1937 Daniel Boone bicentennial half-dollar. That's right, a matte-proof 1937 commemorative half. The strange and yes, somewhat controversial thing is that the mint itself has no record, at least none has ever been found, of ever producing such coins. In his proof encyclopedia, Walter Breen cited only rumors of such coins possibly existing, until a 3-coin PDS set was brought to light only a few years back, causing quite the stir in the process. To my knowledge, at least, this is the only known coin of its type. First authenticated by NGC, the coin has since been resubmitted to PCGS, who also graded the coin as a matte-proof 63 and sold at auction here for $63,000. Next up is an interesting piece of California gold from the very little-known Miners Bank of San Francisco. Strictly speaking, however, it was never actually a bank to begin with, as the coins were issued by the brokerage firm of Wright and Company, starting in August of 1849 until only January of 1850. Interestingly, when examining the obverse and reverse, it becomes very clear that the letter punches as well as the stars are from a different typeset on each side. Now, the workmanship is also clearly divergent from one side to the other, suggesting that different engravers were responsible for the two sides. After these coins started circulating widely, a copy reached all the way to New Orleans, where it was assayed. The report found that it only contained $9.65 worth of gold, and not the full denominational value of $10. After word of this reached the western states, the remaining coins fell into disrepute and were quickly melted down. The damage to the firm's reputation was also done irreversibly, and Wright & Company was forced to dissolve only a few short months later. As a result, very few of these coins managed to survive to this day. The current example was graded by NGC as MS61 and sold at auction for $75,000. Mintages of Double Eagle coins at the Southern Branch Mint at New Orleans have always been small, especially when compared to Philadelphia, for instance. But the mint did serve a very important role as a gateway of sorts to westward expansion, and indeed for a number of years it was the closest US branch mint to the western goldfields. Of course, this all changed when the much-needed San Francisco Mint began operations. Gold supplies were traditionally sent to New Orleans quickly dwindled, and mintage figures shrunk accordingly as well, to the point where in 1856 there were a mere 2,250 double eagles struck at that facility. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint struck almost 880,000 coins within the same year. Today, it is estimated that only around 30 of these coins are left surviving. The current example was graded by mechanics with a details grade of XF40 noted for altered surfaces, something that would reduce any lesser coin to mere bullion status, but here still managed to raise $114,000 at auction. For many years, the 1932 Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle was considered by many collectors and dealers as the scarcest regular issue coin within the series, something which, objectively speaking, simply is not true. Although perhaps at this level that amounts to little more than semantics, as David Akers writes that somewhere between 70 to 80 examples are known to exist, while Roger Burdett, for instance, suggests a number of 95, and PCGS has a number of around 100 coins extant. This is of the original mintage of 1,101,750 coins. Of course, it could also have something to do with the fact that the 1932 is the last collectible Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle. As we all know, the 1933 is of course considered illegal to own by the Treasury, barring for the single example that was removed from the Farouk collection. The current example, however, is graded by PCGS as MS66 and fell under the auctioneer's gavel for the sum of $138,000. The 1901 S Barber Quarter may well not have been the lowest mintage issue in the series, with that honor belonging to the 1913 S at a mere 40,000 coins. It does appear as though nearly the entire mintage of 72,664 coins entered circulation with little to no effort made to save any of the coins either for or by collectors, with most being perfectly content with a single coin from Philadelphia, as collecting by date and mint mark did not become more popular until later years. As such, the surviving population of the 1901 S is today far lower than the 1913 S, despite having an original mintage of, well, almost double the size. This coin was obtained directly from the San Francisco Mint in 1901 and kept in a single family collection for well over 100 years before making its way into the D. Brent Pogue collection. Offered here as a PCGS MS67 Plus grade, the coin sold at auction for $162,000. Although the draped bust designs remain extremely popular even to this day, the exact story behind its origins remains somewhat muddled and shrouded in mystery, ushered in under the auspices of the second director of the US Mint, Henry William de Saussure, who only served for a brief term of about 3 months in 1795. The exact reason for transitioning from the flowing hair design to the draped bust design and the process followed to do so remains somewhat in question. However, it is generally thought today that the portrait was executed by Gilbert Stuart, who is further thought to possibly have based the depiction of Liberty on wealthy Philadelphia socialite Anne Willing Bingham. Now, curiously, the reverse design for the silver dollar remained largely unaltered for another several years, until being eventually replaced by the heraldic eagle in 1798. A beautiful off-center variety of the draped bust design is seen here, graded by NGC as MS64. The coin sold at auction for $186,000. Despite being established, at least officially, in 1792, the mint did not start issuing gold coins until 1795, choosing to focus its efforts rather on more practical silver and copper denominations needed for more practical everyday commerce issues. But in 1795, the first eagles and half eagles started appearing, and this 1795 small eagle reverse gold $10 coin was one of the very first, featuring 13 leaves on the palm front grasped within the eagle's talons instead of the later amended design of only 9. The current example is simply phenomenal and was graded by NGC as MS64, which saw it close at auction for $288,000. The Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle coin is hardly ever going to want for attention. Add to that almost every mark along the checklist: 1907 first year of issue, high relief, strike and design, the original Roman numerals for the date, and the fascinating wire rim variety to boot. Add to that then that this is a part of a small group of coins that NGC, somewhat controversially, classifies with a proof designation, and what you have in this coin is a very intriguing piece indeed. And as if that isn't already enough, there is also some numismatic folklore of sorts that strongly suggests that this particular coin may have once been in the private collection of US Mint chief engraver Charles Barber. Add all of that together and you can clearly see why this NGC graded Proof 69 example was sold at auction for $660,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.